Okay, so as part of our yesterday session, we mostly focused on one-to-many relationship. So, what is the point of one-to-many relationship and how we are achieving one-to-many relationships with respect to tables creation or with respect to data management? That means records got created in the tables with respect to that one-to-many relationship point of view. So, we understood. So it's all about when it comes to the one-to-many relationship point of view. In the main table, you will have one record, and in the association table point of view, you will have more than one associated to that. So you are going to allow to add more than one record with respect to main table record point of. So that is all comes under the one-to-many relationship. And if you observe here also, so one record having three addresses information in the address table. So this is address table and this is employee table. So what we taken yesterday is employee table and address table point of view we taken. Sorry, user or whatever it is. So it's a user table and it is address table point of view. One user is having more than one address. So you are allowing more than one in the association relationship point of view, one to many relationship. So these are all we achieved by using again. The thing is, it's all about the way you are doing the mapping with respect to tables relationship. And here you have to use one to many annotation we have to use, and then we have to use joining columns and cascade and as well as fetch type also. Sorry. So, and today, continuation to that only, we will finish the remaining two also quickly by taking one example because the story is same again. Whatever we discussed, mapping, foreign key relationship, and this cascading operations, everything is common. Only thing is the way you are defining the relationship between one table to another table point of view, you have to define the entity classes. So now, when it comes to the many to many, sorry, many to one, I will take first, and then we'll go for many to one also. So many to one, I will take first, and then we will go to many also. So now you can imagine, I mean, you can guess what is the point of many to one relationship and many to many relationship also. Yeah. So let's come back to the many to one. For example, I have a table A and B table. So A is having relationship with B. So what kind of relation I'm going to achieve is this time many to one. So what is the point of many to one point of view in this case is, for example, A table point of view, if I have a records, if I have a records and B is the table, in this case B is also a table. Okay. So now with respect to A table, for example, guess I have one, two, three, four primary key values like this. Okay, fine. And with respect to B point of view, I'll take example. Okay, so with respect to B table point of view also, so assume I have records like 10. I think it's not good to take here. I'll take here. Many to one point of view. So let's take here. Okay. So here I have data like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. etc. And assume B table point of view, I have data like this 10, 20, whatever it is 10, 20, 22, 33, something. Now, my point here it is one to many point of view. See, I told you already many to one, right? So it is always the perspective where you are looking from A table point of view, A to B point of view, many to one. So with respect to A table point of view, many records. So that means the association comes like this, n to 1, right? So that means in the A table perspective, n records, in the B table perspective, one record. So such a way, if you take n, now for example, 1 pointed to this record of B table. 2 pointed to this record of B table, 4 pointed to this record of B table, 5 pointed to this record of B table. So that means my point here it is again. So 1 pointed to 10, and as well as assume 4 is also pointed to 10. 3 pointed to 22, 5 pointed to 22, 6 is also pointed to 33, whatever it is. Now my point, if you observe here again, assume 2 pointed to 20, something like that. So many to one point of view, in this case, what I'm trying to say here it is 1 comma, if I taken 3 from the table B, A point of view, 3 comma, 5 comma, 6 records, primary key value records, are associated to a record from the B table called as 22 primary key value. So that means here 3 records. So in this example point of view, 3 records are pointed to only one record. So 3 records are pointed to only one record. So what is the example? Can we take in a real life example point of view? For example, we know very basic thing. Employee versus department point of view, we used to discuss this examples, right? So even I'll take something same kind of thing. We can correlate same thing with other things also. So if I take an employee versus department, if I take an again employee versus department point of view, so you know that when any employee join, that employee must and should belongs to a department. So every employee must and should will have a department. For example, I'll take, okay. So assume I have a off company called as so and so company, whatever it is, ABC or whatever it is. So the moment as part of ABC company point of view, I have multiple departments. Like for example, HR department. So similarly, with respect to uh, what dev engineers, so QA engineers, QA department, dev department, HR department, something like that. Admin department. Like I have 4 departments. So I define developers, testers, HRs, and as well as some admin or manager, whatever it is, you can consider. So simple. Okay. So assume these 4 departments I have. For example, these are all departments. Okay. So as part of general, think about in general, when any employee joined into a company, for example, today a person Dilip joined into the company. So the moment Dilip joined into ABC point of view company, so definitely Dilip is allocated based on his skill set or whatever it is, a department is allocated. For example, I'm a developer. So I was allocated with developer. So tomorrow one more person, Suresh is joined and he is also a developer. So then his department is also allocated as developer division. Now one more person XYZ joined. He is a manager point of view. So then he was allocated his manager level. So that's why his department is allocated as manager. Now tomorrow one more person join. Okay, so sometime like so and so XYZ person. Okay, so and so person. Maybe this person belongs to HR department. And tomorrow one more person is joined. Something like whatever it is, Naresh or whatever it is. So again he is a developer. So again one more person joined. So then again he is a HR person. So that means what is the point in this case is every person, every employee. So in this point of view, every employee is associated to the point here it is. Every employee should associate with, should be assigned or should assign to a department. That is point number one. Point number two is, and you know that departments, you have only 4 departments in this case. So you have 4 unique departments. How many? 4 unique departments. 4 unique departments you have. Four unique departments you have in this case. So that means what's happening in this case, if I taken this information back again, I mean with respect to mapping point of view, so assume I have table like this. So department name and as well as ID. And every department I can add future. In future I can add more than one department also. I'm giving primary key perspective department IDs like I given like this. Total four departments as of now. One is HR, two is dev, three is QA, something like. Now, with respect to the employee table perspective, so assume I have a lot of other data also, first name, gender, last name, all this point of view, and employee ID column. Definitely, employee ID column will be there to make sure unique employee IDs. So that means in this case, table becomes like this. Okay, so what will become here? Employee ID and employee name and followed by department. So if you observe here with respect to employee standpoint of view, with respect to employee standpoint of view in this table, so this is employee table, this is department table, right? So here with respect to employee and department point of view, what is the relationship we can observe here it is. So Dilip employee ID is 1, Suresh employee ID is 2, XYZ 3, 4, 5 randomly increasing, just increasing like that. Okay. So now with respect to this, Dilip is the one employee, that means one employee ID is associated to the dev department. So that means 1 as well as 2 also, as well as 5 also. So that means 3 employees, yeah, so 3 employees, employee number 1 associated to the developer, employee number 2 associated to the developer, employee number 5 associated to the developer. So that means in this case, many employees are associated to one department. Only one department at a time. So that means from the left hand, sorry, yeah, from the left hand perspective, from the main table perspective, in this case, employee is the main table. We used to call it as main table or parent table perspective, right? Generally. So in this case, employee table point of view, three records are associated to the one record in the DEPT table. So this is called as many to one relationship. So why? In the main table of employee table, three records are associated to the one record in the DEPT table. So what is the point here? It is what we are achieving in this case. That means assume tomorrow a person employee joined like this 7 and his name is I can take something, I don't know, sometimes I will not get the name. So I'll take Sham like something and assume I'm planning to give a department ID called as 5. So department ID 5. So in this case, what? Department ID 5. But what is the problem in this case? What is the use case in this case? What you have to observe in this case? The point here it is you are trying to add department advantage. So understand the advantage point of view in this case. You are trying to add Sham, that is okay, new employee, but you are trying to give department ID 5. But what is the problem in this case? First of all, there is no department with 5. No department with the 5. So that means what should happen in this case? You should make failing Okay, insertion operation. Why? You are giving invalid data, right? So if you don't have a relationship point of view, the moment you are passing this information to the table, I mean to the JPA point of whatever relationship point of view, so it has to verify before making sham entry into the main table, this employee number 7, it has to verify if department number 5 is existed or not. So now in this case, department number 5 is not existed. So the moment it is found like the department is not existed, then that nothing but you are doing something invalid. So that means we have to make sure this operation may be failed like department is not existed. Department is not existed. Such a way you can control. That is one scenario. Second scenario is maybe when you are adding a person again with same new department ID, maybe not existed. So then start, okay, insert it, insert the department entry, insert the department entry. So it's all, we can't define one scenario, you can define multiple. Insert department entry in the department table and then use it. Use it means assign to the employee point of view and assign that newly added department ID to employee record. So this is what you can do that. This is one more scenario. So you can accept. So maybe it is new, not existed. That's why I added that, and then I am using same thing with respect to employee record. So that means I'm in this case I'm making operation is success. So that means finally record is inserted with 7 in the table and 7 and name as Sham and all other information as well as associated to the department number 5. Associated to the department number 5. Now I'll tell you one more point in this case. Now a new employee joined again. So and so employee 8, okay, and assume PQR. So then this person again is from the HR department. So I given 1 department ID. What will happen in this case? If you observe the point again in this case, the moment I given information like this, what it will do is the relationship point of view, if you are making a proper relationship, it will verify department ID existed or not. Existed or not. So existed. So that means what? Existed. So if it is existed, what it is going to do? It is going to use existed one. So that means assigned existing entry to new employee record. So that means it's not at all creating a new department record again. It's not like, okay, so pick your point of view. What happened? It's not like again one more entry is created for the department ID called as one. No, it's not creating. Already one is there. So that means with respect to 8 point of view, simply what it will do, okay, one is given. So one record is already there. So that means with respect to employee 8 point of view, one is pointed like this. So ultimately, how many departments you are maintaining at a time is how many records. For HR point of view, only one record. Okay, developer point of view, developer department point of view, only one record. QA point of view, only one record. Manager point of view, one record. If anything newly added, for example, 5 you added, right? So assume I'm expecting 5 with something like admin department or whatever it is. So in this case, I will make an entry 5 as well as the department name is admin. So in this case, 5 and admin is completely new. So that's why I made an insert entry. And then I utilized that 5 as an admin to the sham person. In this case, I already given existing one only. So I'll simply make a relation. So in the overall perspective, what you have to understand here it is. So what is the point you have to understand is department table always maintains only one record. associated to every department. With respect to department name and department ID point of view, you are maintaining only one record, and that record being pointed to all employees point of view. So now with respect to the employee point of view, so employee 8 is also pointed to HR. So that means many employees are associated to one department always. So this kind of relationship you are going to achieve. This is what comes under the many to one point of view. Now, if you are looking in this perspective, in the point of this perspective, reverse vice versa point of view, many to one becomes one to many. Every department is having multiple employees. So that means in this case, main table will become okay. If you are looking in such a perspective, what will happen? Many to one becomes yeah. In this point of view, department point of view, one to many. Yeah. So that means one to many. If in this direction point of view, one to many. So that means with respect to which direction? Department table point of view. So that means in this case, department will become main table. In case, I'm just telling you. But our point of view, my main table is I want to make main table as employee only. Okay, the majority main table is employee only. I don't want to make main table parent main table as department. I want to make main important table is employee. Employee perspective, I'll make relationship with department with respect to end to end. If you made department perspective main table and employee as a associated table point of view, then you have to define again one to many relationship, not many to one. Then it will become many to one point of sorry one to many point of view. So that's what little bit looks like confusion with respect to one to many and many to one. But I told you yesterday also, most of the times we will define always relationships with of one to many as well as sometimes many to one. This is the topmost I observed, and then one to one something like that. But anyway, you should know everything. Now let's take an example. Convert this example into practical point of view. It's a little bit complex subject only, guys. I'm telling you one more time also. It's not that much. You can understand easily. Many to one mapping. At least have an awareness by practicing one or two, three examples. What are the columns? What are the annotations we are using? What are the cascade? If you are at least having that idea, that's okay. Then people will accept you. Okay, cool. I'll maintain same records. And here I'll delete all the things. Entity point of view, I'll delete all. So cool. It almost looks like new project only. No problem. But quickly I'll create. Okay, let me create first of all employee and then I'll give as an entity and then followed by I'll give at the rate table and followed by name equal to employee underscore detail. Okay, so I'll make sure setter getters available, no aux constructor, all aux constructor. Okay, cool. So let's define the arguments. I mean properties, private, integer, employee ID, and private string, employee name, private string, gender, Okay. So here I'll make this column as a identifier column, nothing but primary key column. And I'll pass value manually also in this case also. Okay. So basic employee entity. As of now, we are not defined any relationship. We will see that. Now I'll make department entity and followed by table name equal to department detail and then followed by data and then all args constructor, no args constructor, fine. Okay, private integer DEPTA department ID and private department name, and you can take like department head, all is whatever it is. I'll write down only these two things. Okay. And in this table, this one I'll make it as a identifier column. So fine. Yeah. So this is the basic thing. And let's create again repositories also. Basic repositories like, whatever the repositories we use to create generally, employee repository. Okay, I think created as in interface. I have to create it as interface extends JPA repository. So here it's all about employee, and inside employee what you given. So int or long whatever is fine. So integer I will take. Similarly, I'll give for department repository. Okay, cool. So I created department repository. Fine. Yeah. Now let's start defining, thinking about the relationship point of. So what we understood, many to one. Many to one with respect to what? Employee point of view. Employee is the main table in this case. So and that too we are defining many to one. So that means n records to one record. So here opposite table level, how many records you need to maintain always a relationship means opposite table point of view only one record you have to maintain the thing. So whenever it is one record, so one record, you don't need to take it as a list because with respect to individual employee point of view, every individual employee is associated to one department. But in the overall table point of view, if you observe here, multiple employees are associated to only one department. I mean, one record selected. So ultimately, you can take only a individual department entity. Here it is. Okay, so you can take like this. Now, what is the relationship you are maintaining here? It is many to many to one. Many to one. So that's what. So again, if you observe here, maybe okay, I just taken department names, right? But if you observe here, definitely we need a joining column. Again, we need a joining column. So if you don't have a joining column, then how can you segregate whether Dilip belongs to which department from this table? So you need a joining column. Maybe I taken names, but you know that generally joining columns is always becomes the primary key values of the other associated table. For example, dev point of view, what is the ID? 2. And here also 2. And then manager point of view, ID is 4. So HR point of view 1. So this is what joining column point of view I can maintain the department IDs. So tomorrow when it comes to Alice, department ID is 1. Nothing but he belongs to HR department. Dilip department ID is 2. So that means even I can say like this. So Dilip department ID is 2. So 2 is nothing but Dilip belongs to developer, like that. Okay. So if you maintain, so that means you will have a joining column also. Let's see that. Understand what they are explaining here it is. Specifies a single valid association to the another entity class that has many to one multiplicity. It's not normally necessary to specify the target entity explicitly, it's just whatever it is. Now I'll ask you one more question, guys. What it is, if I'm doing cascade of delete operation in this case, for example, if I've given cascade of all, so generally all means assume delete operation also. Okay, fine. In case if I given all point of view means delete also cascading point of view. So in this case, if I'm assume Naresh data, I want to delete. Some reason he left the organization or maybe whatever it is, some reason I am going to delete the Naresh employee data. So with respect to main table, what employee table? I am making delete on the Naresh. Sorry, on the table of employee for a employee ID 5 point of view, I made a delete operation. So if I carry forwarded, if I cascaded same delete operation to the associated table, then what is the drawback in this case? So Naresh point of view, that employee point of view, he belongs to dev. Then if I delete it again here, what is the problem? So that means in this case, you can't carry forward the cascade operation. You should not carry the cascade operation. Why? The reason is, if you are doing the cascade operation allowed in this case, along with Naresh, employee 5, development entity is got down. That dev entity, dev record is gone. But already there are other employees who belongs to the dev department. Like Dilip, Suresh, so on, so other new employees. So many other employees belongs to the same department. Now Dilip belongs to where? 2. But there is no record with 2. So that means data inconsistency. So that means in this kind of things, you have to be very careful and you should not take the cascade operations point of view. You should not carry the cascade in this kind of relationships mostly. Okay. So that's why you have to be, that's what I'm telling you. This is all little bit complex things only. So you should have this level of logical thinking. So if I deleted Naresh 5 on the main table of employee, if I made same cascaded with respect to delete point of view, what will happen? So generally, what is the meaning of cascaded? If you delete it from the parent, associated records from the child level should be deleted. If we delete it like this, then what about the Dilip? What about the Suresh? They are also belongs to the department. So that means there are other records associated to the this record of 2. So that means you should not carry the cascading of delete in this kind of thing. So that is how you have to think always. So that's why in this case it's not mandatory point of view. And I said joining column here also, you can take something joining column everywhere, name equal to something, you can take emp underscore department id, whatever it is, something like that. So I define one to many relationship in such a way. Now let's go with the operations. Okay. Component, and observe one more point also here. Let me take first employee repository. Auto wide, I'm taking department repository. Okay, so now add new employee. For example, You are doing everything freshly. As of now, there is no table, there is no what department tables got created, and there is no entries also. For the first time, you are making an employee data being inserted. First time, you are trying to make employee data being inserted. So what has to be done? Let's see here. Add employee. So you know that whenever you are providing employee, you have to make sure his department is also being provided. Now, as of now, there is no table, there is no employee table, there is no department. First time we are doing the first time. So now what I will do is first I'll define a department like this. Assume like this department entity equal to new department and followed by department ID. So what I will take based on diagram only I will take 1 comma HR, whatever it is, 1 comma HR. Okay, so then department dot, sorry, department repository. Yeah, department repository dot save. So why I am making, I need to pass first of all, if any employee is added, if any employee is added by the time employee, so what happened? The method save is the entity type. I created entity only, right? All save all changes. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think I forgot to change here. So this is what problems with the copy paste. If you are doing in the hurry. Yeah, so I just forgot to change entity name. So now it's integer. Fine. Department repository. The method save with the type called repository. Oh, something I made again mistake. Entity class name. I given repository name. Yeah. Sorry, I have to give entity class name. I given repository name. Okay, fine. Yeah. So now your error is gone because it's all interface repository interface problem. You know that, right? So you have to give always entity class name associated to that repository point of view. So I give an entity class name. Now it's clear. So now what is the use case point here? You have to understand here it is. For example, that's what, right? If by the time employee is inserted, if there is no record, there is no department, and you have to allow adding that department. That is one scenario. If already employee is already department is already existed, then don't touch that. Use that department ID. There are two scenarios. Now, for the first time, I don't have any employee records and any department records. That's why I'm creating the department. Now I'm creating employee object. Okay, so what I will do, I'll pass data here itself. Employee ID, employee name, employee gender, department. Okay, fine. So that means employee ID I'll give 111 and employee name I'll give like Dilip and comma. What is the third property? Constructor point of view, gender and department. So you have to pass gender. So I'll pass gender also, male. And then followed by this employee belongs to which department. So I'll give, for example, I'll give like this HR department or whatever it is. BEPT1. Okay, anything, just naming problems. So I'll give department one. So that means he belongs to this department point of view. Now I will make employee repository dot save of employee one. Save of employee. Similarly, I can create, understand the point again. So a new employee record I'm adding employee 2, and this employee ID is 112, and maybe the person name is something like Suresh or whatever it is. So male, and then again I'm making department. So my point here it is, that's what I said, right? So what if I added two or three or more than one employee related to one department? Ultimately, you have to make sure only one record is available in the department table. So now that is what the point here it is. I'll make sure only one department, I mean, with respect to HR point of view, only one record is existed like that. Only one record is existed. Now, for example, I'll take employee 3. Okay, so employee 3 and 113, something like Alice or whatever it is. Department. For example, I want to give new department in this case. You don't have, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm creating a new department. Department number 2 belongs to 2 belongs to dev department, something like that. Now I'm making that entry in the dev department. Okay, and I'm passing department to here it is. If you are not making repository of save, but I will make here what's happening. See here, save of EMP3. So in this case, what is my point here? It is no department being saved with 2 ID. Saved with 2 ID. But when it comes to here, by the time department when you are passing to the employee, you are making a save operation. Nothing but by the time, in this case, what happened? Department 1 is created or inserted. And then by observing that department 1 ID, you are making employee 1 and employee 2 being inserted. So now employee 1 and employee 2, Dilip and Suresh belongs to department. By the time you have made department 1 is created. But in this case, I created only department entity, not saving. So that means you are not doing any DB operation. You are not inserted. Not inserted. But still you are trying to say like Alice is the person belongs to the department 2, nothing but developer department. So, but that means by the time this line is executed, you don't have any department with 2 ID. By the time this line is executed, yes, you made save operation. Nothing but it's already created and you are using it. But in this case, I'm intentionally stopped it and I'm okay passing that okay which is not existed in the department table level 2 comma dev. I'm passing to the employee called as employee 3. And then I'm passing staring only employee 3. So now in this scenario, what's happening? Let's try to figure it out. Okay, let's take here container dot get bean of employee operations, employee management. Okay, dot class. So to get the bean object and employee management equal to dot get, oh sorry, yeah, dot add employee. So the moment you are calling add employee method, I mean if you execute it from here, internally you'll get the bean object of employee, and then you're calling this method, and then internally department one you are saving, and then same department you are assigning to the Dilip and Suresh, and you are expecting Alice to be assigned to the department number 2, but you are not inserted, and but still you are assigning to the Alice. So two scenarios I am covering in this case, and I'm expecting tables and everything freshly created. Unable to find department with ID 2. So that is what the point here it is. And if you observe here other things, and let's verify in the tables first of all. Yeah, department detail and as well as employee detail. What I will do is detail. Okay, sorry, spelling mistake, I think. But anyway, so now see here, with respect to department one point of view, HR is added. And with respect to employee point of view, see if you observe here, employee ID triple one, triple one, I mean double one, double two, Dilip and Suresh, and assigned with what? Employee department ID 11. So that means, yeah, same behavior we expected. No, okay. I think it's only column order. Okay. So if you observe here, what happened? Employee 1, employee 2 belongs to one employee point of view. See, you made, if you observe here, in the employee operations point of view, yeah, we given department 1 and department 1. So it is making sure like department 1 is already existed or not, then only it is. It's not existed, then it is saying like, so the reason is it is saying like, hey man, you are trying to make a relationship like, okay, many to one point of view, that's okay, but I don't find department ID 2 with respect to this one. So that means in this case, if you are trying to add an, okay, by default, okay, something like invalid department, then your employee record is not added. That's what I said scenario here it is. That's a valid scenario, right? If there is no employee department is existed, then what? Not existed means you have to fail that insertion, because without a department, an employee should not be there. That is what my agenda, that is what my rule. So if without an empty department, a employee should not be created. So department must and should be assigned. So that means if you given something new, nothing will happen. So again, if you are making again this operation, so run as, now same thing. Now what will happen? Employee 3 is associated to the department number 2 because you are making save operation. See, all saves, all inserts are happened, nothing but you can see now employee 3 is associated to the employee 2. So 1 HR, 2 development, down, and then here 112. See this relationship, especially you need to focus. So tomorrow, if you given any other employee information also, same thing will happen. And if you observe table creation process also, this is what important, how the mapping is enabled. So you used an annotation called as at the rate many 2 1. Okay. So if you observe here again, table, department ID, department name, and it's a primary key column, employee table. So the joining column created at employee table level. So that, and employee ID is a primary key column, nothing but not null and primary key. If you see here, employee ID is a primary key column. And alter table, department employee table level, foreign key constraint is added with respect to the column of employee underscore department ID column and referring the table of department table. So nothing but referring the references this table means primary key column. The moment you are using references of other table means primary key column of this table. Nothing but what? Department ID. So if that is existed, then only employee record being added. Otherwise, no. So otherwise, no. So see here the mapping also. Earlier when we discussed about one to many, what happened? Without employee, address is not inserted. But today, in a reverse action point of view, without the department, employee is not inserted. Employee is not inserted. In yesterday, what happened? Without employee, one to many point of view, without employee, if you are trying to make an insert operation on the address level, that is failing. That means in the child table point of view. But today, if we don't have a record here, then it is failing. In the main table level, the record is not getting inserted because of the relationship what we defined with respect to many to one point of view. Okay, so this is how you can just go with the many to one and you can just try with other options also. So let's move to the many to many also. So we are already discussed a lot of other points and let's go back to the many to many point of view. So how you are going to segregate the many to many point of view? So it's a little bit not difficult, little bit confusion, many to many point of view. Let's understand. Little bit confused, but I mean, you can just concentrate here and let's try to understand many to many also. Very rare case you will get this kind of relationship in real-time applications also, but anyway, we will see that. So what kind of things I will take? Uh, so how to take in this case many to many relationships is, for example, yeah, employee point of view only I'll take. What kind of things I'll take here it is. Okay. So sometimes you will have, I'll take in a different perspective in this case. What is my point here it is? For example, Dilip is the person. Okay. So I am an employee to my company. Okay, fine. That is okay. And I belongs to maybe department wise, I belongs to developer only. Okay, that is also cool. Okay, department wise, I am a development point of view. Okay, that is cool. But sometimes, apart from the departments, you may have a concept called as roles also. What kind of roles you are performing in your organization. So that means, in my point here, it is one employee may have more roles. So that means, assume again, as a Dilip, I am the person of lead. Assume I just consider myself okay. As a lead, I join, and as yes, lead is what role? Department is developer. See, a fresher is also a software engineer or associate software engineer. ASC is also what? A designation. A designation or role, whatever it is, role or designation, both are same. So department wise, this person is also development. I am also development. But roles wise, he is a ASC, I am a lead. So that means, as an ASC point of view, as a fresher point of view, he don't have much roles. Maybe he's just doing only development, but as a lead point of view, sometimes I have to perform. Maybe assume I'm as a whatever associate manager point of view or whatever it is. So in such case, what is the roles being assigned to me here? It is, I want to take care of dev, I want to take care of development activities I have to do, I have to take care of lead activities of my junior people also. So like that. So etc etc. So that means here I have more than one role. I have to do development, I have to lead the team, I have to discuss, sometimes I have to do some management activities also, I have to perform to get the management details knowledge. So my roles are getting increased based on my experience point of view. Roles are getting increased. You have to take care of dev activities, lead activities, you have to talk to clients, you have to do so many other things, you have to do so many other things. So that means in this case, now if I take in these two roles again, for example these two are roles. Okay, so if I take in these roles, now what happened in this case, Dilip is the person belongs to development role, as well as sometimes he have to take lead role and he has to take some other management role also. So I have to perform other, where okay, some other roles also I have to take care. So something like whatever it is, interview panel role also I have to take, because my company used to hire. So I have to sometimes act as a panel role also, because I have to conduct interviews, then only I can recruit. So Dilip is the person, but he's doing all these roles is an organization. Okay, so not only Dilip, like Dilip, tomorrow there are so many employees may join with same designation. So ABC is the person join with designation lead, okay, and designation wise lead only that, and as well as he belongs to a department called as, okay, so something like HR department. So HR department, but he's in the HR department again. He is a lead. So that means what ABC person will do in the ABC point of view, HR perspective, this senior HR person will have junior HRs, something like that, right? So that means this person has to take care of the roles of recruit and, okay, maybe dealing with the payrolls, as well as they have to deal with their junior, they have to lead their junior HRs also who joined just as a fresher HR point of view, they have to. So that means these guys are has to perform again multiple roles. So ABC is performing multiple roles. So tomorrow Suresh can join as a in the development department as a lead. Again he will perform all these activities. Similar to me, he will also perform all this. So that means in this case, what you have to understand, you are pointed to. So now if I take an again table, one small example point of view, Dilip and as well as Suresh as well as ABC point of view, if I am taking example, what happened? So in the roles perspective, you are having many relationships. So that means if I take an again here, so Dilip, Dev, as well as Dilip is having lead, as well as Dilip is taking care of panel also. Similarly, Suresh is taking care of dev activities. Suresh is acting as sometimes lead also. Now ABC point of view also, recruitment, multiple roles. So the ABC is performing sometimes payroll operations, salary related, lead operations with respect to their junior team members, and recruitment actions, recruitment roles, all these things they are taking. So that means in this case, again with respect to employee versus roles point of view, employee versus roles point of view, the require, okay, in this scenario, what you observed, many records. Dilip and Suresh pointed to a role called as dev and lead. So in this case, if you observe here, Dilip, comma Suresh, that means many to many people are both are associated to, okay, both are associated to at a time dev and lead roles. So many records from the main table point of view are, okay, associated to the many records at a time. So these two people are associated to these two records at a time. So that means in this case, Dilip is acting many roles. I mean, Dilip is the person having many roles. Similarly, Suresh point of view, main table point of view, so he is also dealing with the dev and lead point of view. So if you observe here, that's what the diagram entity relationship. Many records are having relation with many records. But if you go to the this one, what? At a time only one record. So that means what is the point here? It is tomorrow when I made an entry, I'll make entry like this. Dilip is the person with respect to here, dev with respect to lead. And similarly, I'll make one more entry in the table perspective point of view. Suresh is the person is having roles of dev as well as lead. So I'll maintain this kind of, I have to maintain this kind of relationship. But in this case, generally to maintain many to many relationship, it's not possible with joining column. You can't mention with one column. In this case, you have to take joining table, guys. In this case, you have to take, see, as of now, we taken joining column. I said like joining column point of view. You can easily map which record associated to which record of in between the both tables based on the joining column. But this time to maintain many to many relationship in between two tables, which records belongs to which records of other table with respect to many, you have to take help of joining table. So it's a solution of joining table. You can't define with one column. So that means I can go with joining table. So that means now see here how I'm going to design this with joining table point of view. How on a high level point of view, just let me see the thing here it is. Now I have, okay, again same employee table and again I have same roles table. Okay, so I have table called as roles table. Fine. Now in this case, what I will do is employee table, roles table. This is the basic main tables, A and B, parent and child point of view. So here I have employee ID and aspects, okay, name and etc. etc. Here I will maintain something like role ID and then followed by role name, something I'll maintain. Okay, cool. Here earlier I said like joining column is nothing but you will have a column to maintain relationship between both the tables. You will use a extra column and you are considering it as a joining column. But right now I said joining table I'll take. So I'll take a extra table like this in between. So I'm taking something, whatever it is, employee roles table or whatever it is, some extra table. And what I'm trying to do in this case is the moment you inserted Dilip, for example, the moment if I inserted Dilip, I give an employee ID as Dilip, okay, one and name as Dilip. So what are the roles dev and lead, right? So I'll make sure two roles got created, one comma two. One is first role is Dilip is making dev as well as lead also, and as well as I said panel also, right? So for example, I'll take that one also, interview panel or whatever it is. Now total three roles I'm performing in this case. Three roles I'm performing in this case. So if you take an joining column also, okay, here you have to give again Dilip. Okay, so maybe you can give like this. You can achieve that one also, but only thing is you have to give joining column here like what employee ID. So if you give an employee ID 1, 1, 1, 1, so that means Dilip belongs to this three point of view. Dilip belongs to this three point of view. Then again it will come to one to many point of view if you take in joining column. But my point here it is, if I take in joining table point of view. So observe here what I'm doing. It's all about employee ID, the real employee ID, and here it's all about role ID. So what I will do in this case is, what is the Dilip? 1. Because tomorrow if Suresh is joined, for example again Suresh belongs to the, he is also performing dev and lead roles. So I'm not pointing directly dev and lead point of view to the Suresh. If I'm pointing directly like this, it comes like one to many point of view, something like that. I'm not doing that. I want to achieve many to many point of view. I don't want to maintain only one record, something like that. So I'll make 5, 4 and as well as dev. Fifth, lead. So these two rows created especially for the Suresh point of view, this employee point of view. But if you have a column again, I said right, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, then you can easily say that this belongs to the what point of view, roles point of view, Suresh rules because of this ID joining column point of view. But it comes under the again one to many point of view. But when it comes to many point of view, what I'm trying to do here it is understand the thing. I'll take employee ID 1 and followed by role ID 1, employee ID 1 and followed by role ID 2, employee ID 1 and followed by role ID 3. So that means now again employee number 2 point of view, role ID is 4, employee 2 point of view, role ID is 5. So this is how I taken the joining column and I made a relationship in between main employee and roles table point of view. I made a relationship like many to many, like end to end point of view. I made it. But here I take an extra table like this. Now if you observe here in this case, yeah, if you taken this one point of view, okay, many records are having okay association with many records. So I segregated into two parts. I segregated into two parts. So that means this table with respect to many records, and if you observe this section point of view, and if you observe here 1 to 1, okay, so what you observe, this is the relationship. So 3 many records, n, and then this is many records, this is many records. So with respect to this is how I'm achieving the end to many relationship point of view. So many to many relationship point of view. For example, if I want to show you one more example, let's see like this. No problem. We can take multiple examples. See, this is where you have to use your intelligence or your artificial intelligence. Please provide me a good example of many to many mapping in Spring Boot JPA. Or maybe a generic example also we can consider. It's not only JPA because tomorrow same concept may comes in the Python .NET also. Good example of many to many mapping in SQL, in relationships, in database. See example scenario, students and courses. Yes, right. One student will enroll with multiple courses. So similarly, that is what they taken. Courses table, enrollments, junction table. See, that's what I am trying to say. Junction table or joining table, both are same. So they are saying like they are also taking to achieve the many to many relationship, you need a junction table or joining table. So that's what they are saying like this junction table is going to maintain foreign key reference with, see that's what, yeah, sorry, I forget to tell this point. So in this case, this employee ID is created with respect to foreign key of employee table point of view. And this column is also created with foreign key relationship of this roles table. So like that. So that means tomorrow if I am trying to put 3 record here in the joining table point of view, it will verify 3 employees available or not available. So then it will not allow you to add that. Tomorrow if I am trying to put a role ID 7 here, so it will allow role 7 is already created or not available. So that means, for example, then what will happen? It will not allow you to add that role. Foreign key relationship point of view. Same thing. Even in our example also, it will be done now. I'll show you. See, generally this is that's what I told you guys. You have to create tables manually like this. You will create, and you will create association relationship also like this. This is all you have to do manually in our real-time projects also. Then you will create entity classes based on this scripts. Based on these scripts, you will write student entity class, and what primary key column is ID column, auto increment, integer value. Nothing but you can take integer or long, string value, string value. Now similarly course entity class. Now you will, in this case, automatically based on the mapping what you did between the student and course point of view, joining table if you return, then joining table will be created like that. Or you will give this name as a joining table in the students entity table level. I'll compare this example with the, see this is how the data comes like this. That's what I given you. See whether I am teaching, whether ChatGPT is giving, both are same. That's what majority of the scenarios will match, but small things will change from one project to another project, one requirement to another requirement point of view. See exactly same what we taken with respect to employee and roles. Exactly same. Let's implement it first. So by today, I'll close this relationship, but from tomorrow, the most important and the last module, I mean, we have security module also, but when it comes to the most important module to attend interviews, to start your preparation, to make sure your resume preparation, it's time to go with MVC module or web module. So it's all about the module is the final module where you are doing implementing the web applications that we will start from tomorrow. But anyway, let's complete first this. um, Close all this. I'll finish it quickly guys because we have 10 minutes 15 minutes, but anyway we know the concept now. It's all about understanding things practically. Context you have to understand first. So what I will do, I'll delete department, I'll make a roles, and then I'll make all this deleted. I'll create freshly. Okay, so employee management point of view also I'll delete all. Okay, I'll delete freshly. I'll make all freshly. So I'm just utilizing the existing project point of view. I just copy pasted, and department I don't want. Even in the same also I can use why I'm taking new project is I want to upload in the Google Drive such a way like that so that you can refer my examples. If I'm mixing everything, you don't know what is a one to one, what is a many to one point of view. That's why I'm creating. Otherwise, I can do everything in one project itself. Okay, fine. Repository, okay. Basic thing, okay, fine. Okay, this is also basic thing. Now what you have to do, you have to create a roles table. So with respect to roles table, let's create an entity class. This time I'm taking roles. So you can try with student and courses, like however ChatGPT is given an example, you can try with this design. So this is how you have to use artificial intelligence for your to improve your intelligence, use the artificial intelligence. Okay. It's not like to kill your intelligence, don't use the artificial intelligence. Okay. So it's all about entity. See now if you are asking many Spring Boot, JPA, student, courses, example, then maybe ChatGPT will give you the answer. But what is the problem? Your assignment point of view, you got the solution, but where practically your mind is thinking. So that's why getting this kind of core knowledge from the ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, do that. Take some ideas, getting an ideas, but implementing that ideas with respect to coding point of view or practice point of view, don't involve the ChatGPT. Then your intelligence will go down. So if you are doing this, what will happen? Solution is in front of your eyes. You will copy, you will run. Your example is done, but you don't know what you are doing. So you don't know what's happened. So that's why these kind of solutions, that's what ChatGPT will give you the solution. When you know everything good, and when you are working for a project, and if you want to save the time, you want to do a quick rapid development, then you can use it. But when you are learning stage, don't do this kind of things. Once your efforts are completed 100 percentage, like for example, you started practicing many to many, so you followed the understanding, listening, or you did some analysis, design, and everything, and you started your practice, and you spent almost 2 3 hours. Some small problem is causing an issue. It still you try to fix it, try to fix it. Still you are exhausted. Like then go to the chat GPT and then try to make sure, ask something like this is any example, any reference, something like that. But first of all, our efforts is more important. That is what I will follow till today also. Otherwise, nothing. It's all we are killing ourselves, our mind. So don't see that's what my if I copy paste this, done. So same, whatever I'm going to teach right now, it's given by ChatGPT. That's all. Nothing. So the same joining table I will use now. Same joining table. So instead of whatever the table name I want to give, joining column names I'll give. That's all. Done from my side also. But you do first yourself, and then it's very important. So you can refer. That's what I used to say. Refer these kind of things for the point of view, whatever it is. Okay, so I think let's go like this. I'll give table name as employee roles. No aux constructor, all aux constructor. Okay, private integer role ID, and I'll make this column as a identifier column. And then private role name. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I just created basic things. Now let's start defining the relationship. So it's all about roles repository. Yeah, so entity of roles I given, that is also clear. Now, yeah, so here now we have to start making many to many relationship. So with which table you are doing many to many relationship? You are doing from the roles table. And what roles table is going to have many records. So the moment you saw right hand side many, so you have to take a list. So what table? I created roles. Yeah, roles is the table. So let me take variable name also roles. Okay, fine. So you are going to make many to many relationship from employee to roles. That's okay. And you taken while list means because you are maintaining many. Fine. Now here, some small extra configuration you have to do. Let's take first of all an annotation called as many to many, and sorry, many to many. And then I said here you have to take help of joining table or junction table. So I think I learnt a new word today, junction table. But anyway, JPA point of view, the word is joining table. Yeah, join table or joining table, whatever it is, join table. So this one you have to take. And here you have to mention what is the table name it has to create, or else it will take by default one, guys. If you are not mentioned joining table, JPA will understand something and JPA will create a table with its own naming convention by following this employee and roles table point of view. But if you given your own table name, it's good generally. Employee roles joining or whatever it is. My table name I given like this. And here you will mention again some joining columns also. Join columns. So with respect to join columns, what you have to give here it is join column annotation. No, you can't give like this. You have to use, I think, join column annotation. So this is the table name and you need to mention. So if you observe the diagram in this employee table, which is a primary key column, foreign key column, that is what I'm giving here. It is, I'm saying like from the employee table perspective, what is the join column? Join column. Yeah, yes, here you have to use and you have to give the joining column name from the employee perspective. What is the employee perspective? What is the column name? You will take EMP ID means employee EMP underscore ID in general. Generally, it will become like EMP underscore ID. So that is what you have to mention. Name, sorry, joining column name equal to, and then comma inversion. So if you observe here one more thing, it is asking inversion join column. So what is the point of inversion joining column here? It is the moment you given with respect to this foreign key point of view, you mentioned this is the column. Now with respect to this foreign key column point of view, which is the column, you have to mention that, right? So that means now you have to give this role ID point of view. So for example, assume this is the role ID. Yeah. So now you have to give this role ID. You give an employee ID in this case. Now inversion joining column means you are saying like from the roles table point of view, this is the column name you have to mention in this relationship point of view. So you are going to mention again like at the rate join column name equal to, you have to give role underscore ID. Why? You know that underscore will be added generally when you created the table. Okay, so yes, this is how you have to give the joining table. Now what will happen with this naming convention? It will create the joining table. So with this you are done. But here one more thing is, now if you observe the diagram with respect to this direction many to many. With respect to this direction also this time many to many. With respect to this direction also this time many to many relationship you are having. So if you want to make sure, in this case what you have to do is here also you have to mention like many to many. I'm not sure. Do one thing. So let's try first of all with this and I'll add this point. And what I will give here it is add employee repository dot save of entity employee, right? So that means first create the entity objects. What is my entity class? Employee. Employee 1 equal to new employee. So I'll add 1 and then followed by Dilip and then followed by gender is nothing but male, and then I'll add list of Roles, I'll give like role objects you have to pass. Okay, I'll do one thing. Before here, I'll create roles. Roles, yes. Role 1 equal to new. Role ID 1 followed by dev something. Role 2. Role 3. Dilip is having 3 roles. Lead. You can give this column as a auto-generated column actually in the roles table point of view, or else you have to pass manually. Now what I will do, list of role 1 comma role 2 comma role 3. So if you made like this, then what happened? Pass this entity to employee repository that save emp1. Okay, so now this call this method. So the moment you are calling, and let's see what are the table. Yeah, tables are going to be created, and let's see things are happening or not. So add employee, 3 roles assigned to the Dilip employee, and you are saving employee. So the moment you are calling this method save of employee, so what happens? Let's try to understand, or else you have to call again. Roles are being added first, and then call the employee method also. So understand first of all default what's happening, and then I'll add the line by line comment solutions. Yeah, if you observe here something is happening, the problem, understand the error. Unable to find role with ID. So that means what it is trying to say is roles are not available. So that means first you have to add the roles. So you created the roles, but those are all not presented in the table. So that means what I will do is auto wide roles repository. Role 1, role 2, role 3. So first you are saving the roles, and then you are assigning the roles back to the person, and let's try to execute again. Yeah, if you observe here, yeah, let me take the tables from here, then you can understand very easily. So employee details, okay, I given now what is the table name under the roles, employee roles. And I think you have a joining column table also now. If you observe here, I think here, yeah, total 3 tables created: employee detail, employee roles, and a table name called as employee roles joining also. Total 3 tables. These two are main, and this is a joining table. Now let's execute this. Okay, so this is the person of employee. So the list employee table and followed by roles table, and then in between that you added a joining column. So nothing but this one. I mean joining table, not column. Yes. So now finally what happened? Dilip is the person, employee one, employee one, and having many roles. One, two, three. So many to many relationship point of view. So this is how you are going to achieve this point. Now, for example, if you want to insert other employee information also, you can do that. I'll do one thing. I don't want to lose my data back. So here I'll make, so Suresh is joined and role ID I given as 7 and 8 and person is Suresh and employee ID is 100. Okay, so then he would like to assign with only two roles I'm assigning. Then I'm passing this. Okay, so just data is I reduced. Now Suresh is the person I'm adding with the dev and lead roles, two roles. See, finally it is inserted. And if you observe the table also, yes. If you observe here, 100 and 700 Suresh employee ID and attach it to the role ID of 7 comma 8. So if you go to the 7 comma 8 role ID, what Suresh is assigned with dev and lead roles and employee point of view only two employees. Employee point of view only two employees. So this is all comes under the many to many relationship wise. So please practice all these examples and have a basic idea, minimum idea, at least one to many, please be perfect. And many to many point of view, at least practice one time and have a at least basic idea what annotations we are using. Okay, what is a joining column? At least you should be in a position like what is a joining column, what is a joining table. So you should be in a position like understanding all these things. That's why I taken all this diagram. At least you will remember these diagrams and you can easily grasp the things like that. I'm taking this much high level, this much in-depth level diagrams. The reason is just I want to picturize your minds with respect to this relationship point of view and all. So that's why I'm taking the screenshots and making all these things. At least by seeing these diagrams, you will answer something practically little bit confused, little bit difficult, and as well as theory point of view also you should have this much level of knowledge, then you can easily explain these scenarios, use cases point of view. Okay, so this is all we are with this we are done with Spring Boot JPA. So from tomorrow it's all about we are going to start the Spring web module, nothing but MVC module, both are same. So by using this only we will create REST services. This is the most important topic nowadays. REST API services. So that means now you are entering into the real-time projects, work-related scenarios, how front-end is working and back-end is working, how front-end and back-end is being integrated. So in a full stack application point of view, now you will get a picture going on. Now it's all about with respect to front-end and back-end point of view as a web application. So that means tomorrow onwards, we are going to implement web applications. So that means you know that I'm not going to teach you what is a request, what is a response again. You know what is a request, what is a response. In the servlets itself, we have to learn all these things. So I'll give you high level, but not in depth. What is a request? What is a response? What is a web application? Also, you should know by this time because it's all servlets. From the servlets, whatever you did in the servlets, that's what we are going to do in the web module, and that we will start from tomorrow. And this is most important, and it will take minimum 2 weeks of sessions. And I'm telling you, this is the real time module. You have to. Otherwise, now there is no. You can't understand how front end and back end point of view, Java full stack application, front end plus back end point of view, how things are happening, front end plus back end plus the database. Now, front end plus point of view, you will use either Angular, React, HTML, all these, right? So, similarly, back end point of view, Spring Boot, web module plus you will use, and to deal with the JPA database, you will use JPA module, and you will use one of the database like Oracle or MySQL, whatever it is. So this is the combination of full stack application. So we will see what is how we are going to do the web module. And as part of web module, nowadays the most prime concept is REST API services. Why REST API services? Because tomorrow when you are working with microservices architecture, when you are working microservices, so one service is going to communicate with another service. One service is going to communicate with another service. So then it's all you will do only via REST APIs. Point number one. That is one use case. Second use case, when you want to integrate front end with back end integration nowadays, okay, so you will do via API integration only. So API integration is nothing but REST API. So that means either front end developers, back end developer, full stack developer, everyone must and should have nowadays knowledge of REST APIs. So what is, and this REST APIs we will create by using Spring Web Module only, but we will see everything. It will take 2 weeks of sessions minimum, and that's all. Then we will move to the security module. With that, we are done with Spring Boot. Okay, so that's all. Let's connect on tomorrow with Spring Web Module. So your JPA module is completed with all the details. I'm telling you, I covered each and every area, including pagination, sorting also I covered, along with mappings very clearly. Utilize the knowledge. I hope I given you good knowledge with all my knowledge. So just utilize it and try to practice and try to get a good opportunities. That's what I'm trying to say.